Blah, y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama, or maybe hide from your baby mama. Just kidding. But anyways, fans, thank you for staying tuned. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. To find me, I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the outlet to reality. And guys, check out my first book. It came out on Amazon called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart for 5 adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture while being Jewish. And today we have a very special guest, the one and only. I had to bring her back. Give it up for Gabby.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much to David for having me back on Outlets to Reality. I'm very, very much pleased and honored to be on the show again. Thank you guys.
Of course, of course. I was so excited. Like, I was like, yo, 3 times in a row. I was like, hey, I gotta bring her back. So look, I gotta share this. I gotta share this. So basically Gabby has been one of my closest people, in my life. I have a very small circle that I consider people that are close. And I have a lot of family get-togethers, birthday parties, and Gabby's been on almost in every party, and it's so nice because the family already knows her. And I do want to share a little funny story. I think it's the best story. So one of my favorite moments with Gabby is she came for my sister's birthday, and one of my aunts, she's like an aunt to me. Her name's Martha. She said hi to Gabby, gives her a big hug. She remembers her from last time. She's like, Mija, you gotta dance. You didn't come to a Mexican party. You're not gonna dance. And they were playing some, like, I don't know, like, I forgot if it was bachata, lo que sea, I don't remember. And so Gabby's like, but I don't know. And then Martha's like, no, please, Mika, you gotta dance. Come on. And so we started dancing. I'm doing a ding, 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 ding. And we started dancing. My favorite part is that at the very end, because I did a lot of turns. Actually, it was cumbia. I take it back. It was cumbia. I did a lot of turns. And Gabby, I gotta tell y'all, Dave, you did so many turns. Give me 1 second. She took her inhaler. She was like, man, I wasn't ready for this. I said, sorry, girl. I get excited. My palms were heavy, my spaghetti. I was just like, yo, I gotta dance. But that was my favorite moment. But what about you, Gabby? Any memories you can remember of like coming through with the parties?
Yeah. I didn't want to interrupt you right then and there, but I was going to tell you what cumbia I remember pretty well. Because usually if I'm going to be going dancing or whatever, I've had a long day. Let's say I worked a shift. I usually, it's sad to say, but I have to bring my inhaler with me. Otherwise, I got asthma and I'll be out for the count for the whole night if I don't be careful with it. So I was trying to, get it together first, warm up, but no, they threw me right in there. It was merciless the way they threw me in there. And of course, I tried to get out of it, say I didn't know how to do it, but David's the one that showed me how to dance it. So I had no excuses. I had no excuses for him.
Oh man, so hilarious. I love it. I love it. Now look, Gabby, please, if you could share, right? This is the 3rd time you're back and you're doing big things. I see you got a nice haircut. I could really tell. She got the pink outfit. She's ready. So look, we see that, from the last time we talked, right? You were working in the bank. And so I've seen a lot of videos where you're posting at the Audi, like at the dealership. Tell us the process, getting like the interview, if you remember even the transition, if you could share that would be awesome.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing I remember about the transition was just how long it took. Like, because I still had to put in my 2 weeks at the bank, and there was a lot of stuff going from one quarter to the next. It was pretty long for me. So a lot of it was just, it was playing the waiting game of knowing that I wanted to leave the bank, knowing that I was going to be going on to something new, and still having to wait out those 2 weeks and just kind of sit tight, even though that I knew it wasn't for me anymore. In regards to like the whole Audi situation of how I got the job there and the interviewing process. I will say that, the fact that I had previous experience, selling cars and working in the dealership, that did help me out a lot, because I didn't have an interview and I didn't put in an application. I just walked in.
Whoa.
And so I kind of already knew that I had a leg up because I had done it before. This wasn't the first time. And I knew that, I kind of understand how dealerships operate and how the management works. So I knew who I had to talk to and who I had to get myself in front of. And once I was in front of them, it was really just all up to me. And that was, I'll say the interview is the cakewalk, right? Then you actually get the job, then you start the job, then you got to really, walk the walk and talk the talk how you're supposed to. So now I'm in my first week, going on my second week now. And that's the point where I'm at right now.
Wow, that's amazing. I gotta say, have you before you got the job at Audi, was there anybody who was giving you like, I guess, negative energy, like, oh, you can't do it, you're not ready for it, you're too young? Like, can you tell us about, like, did you get those haters? I know they're out there, they try to get me too. You know what I'm saying?
Out there, you got to keep an eye out for Selena, as they say. No, definitely. Like, when I was thinking about going back into the business, I didn't do it cold. I had called up a few people from the old places that I'd worked at and that I knew in the business to kind of see how it was and, kind of get a feel for it and see what their advice for me was going to be. And I had mixed responses. I had plenty of people, encouraging me and saying that, I was going to be great regardless of where I ended up. And then, of course, you get the one or two folks that are like, oh, you got to start from square one, you left and now you got to get back and like, you got to start all over again. That's how it works. And the business is so different nowadays. And they were kind of trying to make me feel as though the place that I wanted to end up was not realistic. So, because I told them that I wanted to go into the luxury market. And when I had worked in the dealership before, I'd never done luxury except for a little bit of time that I dabbled in Genesis. And so because I'd never experienced luxury dealerships before, they pretty much told me, like, it's off the table. It's impossible for you. You should just forget about it altogether. And so I was like, no, that's not what I'm going to do. Like, if I go in and they tell me no, then that's a different story. But to just not even try is not. It wasn't even in my mind of a possibility. So I went to Porsche and I ended up at Audi and I went to Mercedes. So there's a couple of different people that I talked to, but, I was just lucky in the fact that, sorry, I got neighbors. I was lucky in the fact that I ended up near the Porsche and the Audi exchange, which is just, I did have one Porsche dealership that pretty much gave me the runaround. Like, I had 3 consecutive interviews with them and then nothing ever came out of it. So that was pretty frustrating for me. But all it did was, kind of put like a fire under me of like, okay, they're not the right people, but I know I'm on the right track. I'm getting warmer. And so I pretty much just continued to keep going forward. And I ended up at the Audi exchange, which is just like a state-of-the-art facility, completely different from any other dealership I worked at, inside and out. And so because it's so different and so much better, it's actually kind of putting me at a little bit of a disadvantage, because it's like all of the bad habits and all of the negative things I'm used to seeing, they just don't exist. So it's like it's a really happy surprise for me, honestly. But I don't know how to take it. So I'm still adjusting. I'm still adjusting and getting used to everything. But from moving to the bank to Audi, it's been phenomenal so far. And I'm really excited to see where it takes me in the future. I really enjoy being able to be on the sales floor, and it's like nothing I've ever seen before. It's not even a sales floor. It's literally just a lounge. It's a lounge for clients to come and relax and enjoy the Audi experience and grab a cappuccino and, take a look at the fish tank. They have all kinds of really, really cool, luxurious things for clients to experience because it's so focused on them. It's really awesome.
Wow, that's amazing. I do want to share, right? Like, we had a conversation a week ago. It was like one of the deepest philosophical talks. I loved it. And I was sharing with you a little story how, I used to work at Lucky Brand, the jeans place, and those jeans were expensive. We're talking like almost $100 for each jeans. And I was part-time at that place. and it was crazy how I had the best sales. The term we use is SPH, which is sales per hour, and I had the highest in the area was 275 or 274, something like that. And you get an award. They give you like an award, get it laminated, it's so nice, and they put it in the wall. And I was killing it. And the thing is, Armani, which I love that clothing store, was right next door from us. So I will go there every day acting like I'm gonna buy it, but I was just paying attention how they would sell. And it was so cool. The manager finally got to know me. And I said, look, this is all my awards. I brought it like in a binder. I said, these are all my awards. I know you need someone who could sell. And she's like, look, I'm actually looking for a manager. I said, look, I could do that too. What you need, you know? And
Mhm.
right away, she loved my confidence. She saw how I acted. And we did a little role play where like an actual would come in and I would try to sell them like some clothes. And she's like, yep, you got it. You know how to connect with people. I could see it. She's like, you're funny. You're very good with explaining about clothing, making people good about it. She's like, you got the job. You don't have to do the interview. I'm like, for real? I'm like, dang. And so that same time that happened, I got another job that hired me. And I had to tell her, look, I wanted to do this so bad because you get commission too, whatever you sell. But I was like, I miss school. Like I miss giving back for the community. It was a very hard, tough decision for me to leave that. But at the same time, me and her were still good as like how you say it, contact. So anytime I'm in Chicago, she always tell me, you know, you have a job waiting for you if you want to come back. I said, thank you. And that's what I always say. Like with every relationship, you have to like, I look at it like a seed. So every time you go up with them, whether it's like happy holidays, right? You plant water in that, and so little by little, the flower it starts becoming like a flower. So that's how you keep relationship, network, connections. If you don't, then it dies away and they forget about you. So you never want to be that person. And so that's how, right now in Vegas, it helped me out a lot. Like now I have my own private doctor, chiropractor. I build relationships, even though it was like maybe 6 or 8 months ago from an accident, like something happened. They'll come to me like, "Hey, don't worry about it. They in charge of you family, you my brother." So I'm like, "Yo, that's what's up. That's the nicest." I kept that content like, "Hey, just want to follow up, just saying hi. Hope you have a great day." Something nice, right? So they know, wow, this guy really, he's looking out. But I just wanted to share that story because I thought it was really nice.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's just like you never know what you're capable of. You never know who you're going to click with or what your personality is going to be good for. If you just listen to the people around you who want to throw those negative thoughts out there, you can't pay any mind to that because you really never know. And the worst thing that you could hear is a no. But in reality, like the more no's you hear, the closer you are to a yes. So all you know is you're just not looking in the right place. And someday that right place is going to come along, and I'm just really happy to have found it with the Audi exchange. And it's got me so excited and so hyped. Obviously the first week was a little bit of a learning curve for me, a little bit, right? Because, there's so much technology, like they want us walking around with iPads all the time. We got all these like cards and things of that nature. So just getting used to all the platforms. Obviously, anybody's going to take some time to learn those logins and those passwords and bookmarking things in the computer. And I'm not really an iPad user, so that in and of itself is just like it's a whole world for me.
Oh man. So what do you gotta do in the iPad? Like, so you see a customer come in, they're trying to buy something. Do you have to like you kind of do the credit check and everything on the tablet, or what's it for?
That's a good question. Yeah. So anything that I do with the iPad is like all of my systems are there. Whether I'm running a credit application, actually that's done on paper, surprisingly. I know, isn't that funny? But everything else of like pulling up the car, looking for the right one, making sure that I got the right number to the right car that you're looking at. I can go grab the key. I can literally scan your driver's license back and front with the iPad. Here you go, sir. That's right back to you. You know, I'm not even going to have it for more than a minute. I just scan it, 1, 2, it's done. Here you go. Let me get your phone number. Let me get your email. It's all in there. Okay, let's look through some cars. You know, let me show it to you here on the iPad. And it's all right there, hands on. I don't got to go nowhere back and forth. And we're not, you know, divided by a desk of like, I'm on one side, you're on the other side in a cubicle. You know, it's not like that. You just, there's lounges, there's really comfortable couches. You got some TV going on, you know, I'm showing some stuff to you. You're just shopping, and it's just like any other experience, like if you go to the mall, you know, except we're dealing with Audi. So everything is going to be elevated 100%.
I love it. I love it. I got a technique you're gonna love. I'm gonna share this with you. So my dad and my grandfather, they were car salesmen, and my grandfather has his own spot. Well, he passed away, my grandfather, rest in peace. But they were the best in sales, and I got a little technique that works for me, right? So one time I had somebody, this was like a Saturday, and some reason we didn't have the car that that person wanted in our lot. Okay, so we had to drive. I had to drive them all, like maybe like 5 people with me, to a different lot. Okay, way far. And you know how people are like, I want this now. Like they getting a little mad. So you know me, your boy don't take it personal. So driving like a 15 passenger van, by the way, and I'm driving. This is my first time ever driving this big old thing. And there's like, you know, a bunch of people in the back, and they're like, why are you not putting music? Like, you're checking the light a few times, you know, the mirrors. I said, look, I'm gonna be honest, this is my first time driving a 15 passenger van. They were like, oh man, everybody was holding the seat, the cat, you know, and they're like, oh man, I better put my seatbelt. It was so funny, and I'm driving, right? Like, I'm like trying to be careful. It was so hilarious. We get to the spot, and it's time for them. One of the guys, he really wanted a 50 Ford. Okay, no, but your boy's beast. Look what he did. I said, look, man, I got this car right here. You're gonna love it. Got tires, got everything you need, you know. But it was a Frontier. Okay, it was a Frontier, which people know Nissan. That's a small truck. But watch this. He's like, I don't want to drive that. This is an ugly car. I said, okay. But you take a seat. So he sits down, right? He's sitting there. Look, do me a favor, close your eyes. So he closes his eyes. I said, picture yourself in the mountain driving, and like you're going so high, you can see the beautiful sky, the grass, live in the moment. How do you feel? Are you already there? He's like, yeah, I'm already there. Okay, now make a turn. He's like, all right, what do you see? He's like, man, I see a lot of goats or something. I don't know what he said. He said, I see a lot of animals. Wow. And how does it feel? Do you feel like you're strong? Like you feel like you're safe driving? Like, he goes, man, this is probably one of the best moments. Then I said, open your eyes. And he opens his eyes. I said, how do you feel with the car? He said, I love it. I want it. I said, all right, let's do this. And it was the coolest moment because while I had 5 people watching me, I had to at the same time be professional and be persuasive, and it worked. And when I told my boss, when I went back, everybody was shocked. They're like, dang. And I told them this: if you can believe story in your product, they will get it. It goes with insurance, it goes with warranty, doesn't matter what it is, they will get it. And that's something I learned is I find ways can, you know, get people into something. And something that one of my mentors, one of the best salespeople of all times, he for me, right? And he's maybe for not someone else, but for me, he was one of the best. He told me creating authentic conversation with your guests, don't call them customers, with your guests, while bringing it back to the main goal, which is whether it's car sales, car insurance, whatever it is. And it's so true because if you come too strong, like, hey, do you want to buy this car? you're already giving them a no answer. You got to find a way like, hey, what brings you in today? Oh, I'm trying to get whatever. Okay, all right. If you got some time, let me show you something. And then you can show them whatever it is. But it's something I believe because that's gonna bring you together. And if you build that clientele, same thing, like I have to share this real quick with the guests, right? So the reason why I don't like to say customers, I like to call them guests because you're inviting them to your dojo, your realm, you could say, right? Your lounge, your dealership. So you're a guest. Let me treat you like a guest. Come in. You want some coffee? Cool. It got a little sugar, what I'm saying? Got that whipped cream, what I'm saying? Got everything you need. So that's one thing that I learned and it's helped me so much, till this day. So I had to share that, girl, because you about to go, what I'm saying, you about to go to the battlefield and make some big moves. And I gotta say this, one thing I really admire from you is that when we talked, you had a goal in your head, like how much you want to make. And I love that because some people they just live in the moment and they don't have a goal. They're just saying, oh, I'm just gonna get my paycheck, that's it. But I love that you already put a number in your head and you're like, I'm gonna fight for it. I'm gonna, do as the best as I can. That I think that more people should do that, have goals that will make you better. That's why I 100% believe. But yeah, any thoughts?
I love that. I love that you take the word customer. I usually don't even say customer. I know sometimes when they're doing like back and forth, they'll say, hey, Mr. Customer, this and that and the third. I don't even like to say customer. I say client, but even guest is better because at the end of the day, we are inviting them into our house. It's our house. Come have a seat. You're a guest here, and whatever it is, what you say goes. It's not the other way around. So, I think having that authentic conversation and still bringing it back to the main point is really, really important. I feel like that you can either come off really strong on one or really strong on the other. I think me personally, I definitely tend to go off on a tangent and then we'll go get lost in the mountains, but we'll never come back the way that you brought him back. We'll just be over there forever with the goats.
Oh man, no, girl, that's amazing. No, I'm so proud of you. Like I said, I think this. And then, can you share a little bit about like, I seen your little videos where you're driving like electric cars, and I don't know anything about the Audi electric cars. So if you could share your experience, I think it's so cool. I was like, dang, look at her fancy. So if you could share a little bit, that'd be so cool for my people that want to buy Audi, please.
Yeah, so I'm completely new to the Audi product. So like I said, I've literally only been here a week, starting on my second this week. And just like anybody else that's listening that doesn't know anything about Audi, that's pretty much how I walked in. I walked in completely fresh, didn't know anything, still really learning the lineup. But the number one thing about Audi is they stand apart because they take luxury and then they take high performance like sports cars and they like mash them together. It's like this really, really classy combination of having something that looks really nice on the outside, looks really nice on the inside, feels luxurious, but also when you drive it, you're like pleasantly surprised with like how fast it can go. And sometimes it's shocking. So I've driven some of the gas powered engines. They're all really great. They come in a V6, V8, some of them even come in a V10. The people that are not car people, all that means is it's counting the cylinders, how many cylinders are firing inside the engine. So the more cylinders, the more power, basically. So they have a mixture of gas engines, classic stuff like that. You can find any, cars or SUVs with gas if that's what your thing is. They've moved on to hybrid. So we have one hybrid SUV that's super, super popular right now, which is the Q5 hybrid. And that one's a plug-in. So you can choose to do either gas or plug it in, at home or when you go to the grocery store. Let's say you go to the mall. Some people, the workplace is adding it, to their parking lot as a perk for their employees, which is really nice. So you can choose whether you want to go on completely gas, if you want to drive around town, it has a 30-mile range for all electric, or you can do the hybrid. And so these are people that are going 500, 600, miles, and they don't need to visit a gas station at all. It's really nice. And then I did get to drive the fully electric line. I've driven a few of them. So I've driven the e-tron GT and the RS Stream, which is like a 637 horsepower electric car. It's very small, and so it goes very, very quickly. And you'll find even in the hybrid cars, because of that hybrid battery, it's adding about 100 extra horsepower to the gasoline engine. So whatever you're starting out with, go ahead and add 100 on top of that. That's how generous they are. And they're like, here you go. So any of these ladies that are coming in and they're trading in their old SUV, they're like, yeah, I want a new one or whatever. Half of them got lead foots, and they're speeding off down the highway because they don't realize how much pickup it has. And they're just super, super fun to drive. You'll never be bored in an Audi. And the handling, a lot of these ones have different types of clutches, and they have split differentials, which means that it basically just switches from front wheel drive to all wheel drive whenever the computer inside the car senses that you need it. So all of the Audis have the Quattro, which means that they just have 4-wheel drive. And so that means that you can drive it in all weather conditions, all seasons. You're going to be extremely safe. And the car will go ahead and manage whatever kind of weather conditions are there to keep you as a passenger super safe inside the car and make sure that you're having a fun time when you're driving.
That's so cool. That is amazing.
So cool.
Now you make me want to buy one. I ain't gonna lie. Now tell us, can you share the little story of I just saw a video of you, and like you were saying about, I guess, 2 construction workers were trying to holler at you, but it was the hilarious video I've seen. If you could share a little bit, because I thought that was a pretty cool technique, but if you could share it.
No, I just noticed it's funny because half of my life I've gone through it with people telling me that I'm super, super light skinned. I could pass as anything. They really can't figure out what I am. But now as I'm getting older, I'm turning into a little señora. I find that I have more Latino people approaching me speaking Spanish right off the bat than I've ever had in my life. And I'm just really, really fortunate and grateful that, I learned Spanish in high school so that I could really understand the people around me, and I get to practice it all the time, especially with clients. You'd be surprised. You think, oh, there's not a lot of Latino clients or guests at Audi. We have so many people are coming in that want a Spanish speaking salesperson and that speak Spanish, and they're already, they already own Audi and they want to buy more for their sons and their daughters, which is really nice. So I have people coming up to me, and it's always about some random, it's about something completely like random. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I can't even tell if I understand Spanish for real because what they're saying to me doesn't make any sense. And I think like, oh, maybe it's a language barrier. Maybe there's something I haven't learned yet. No, I'll have another Spanish speaker come and double check for me and say, hey, maybe I don't understand this dialect, but maybe you will. And they go, no, I don't understand what the hell they're saying either. Okay, great. I have so many people telling me like, maybe your Spanish isn't that good. That's not the case. It's literally just, whatever it is that they're saying to me, it just really makes no sense. And I find that half the time that, especially men in public, if they're approaching me and they're speaking Spanish to me, it's about some nonsense because they just want to get my attention. Yeah. It's a little frustrating. So sometimes I'm like, maybe I should just pretend I don't know how to speak it and just be like, huh, what? No, sorry. No hablo español. Sorry.
Oh.
And just,
that's so, I like that. That's a pretty good technique because they don't know, right? And they're like, oh, snap, I thought I had a chance. And you're like, black. You know what I'm saying?
black. Yeah.
That's it. I love it, girl. Well, look, it looks like Zoom is about to kick me out. Guys, there you have it. This is the Outlet to Reality. The holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget, don't like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Reality. My Snapchat is Take One Pass It, and my TikTok is at 28. And check out my book called Shabbat in Chicago. It is out on Amazon. Thank you for being here. And please, where can my fans find you?
Thank you so much for having me, David. I really, really appreciate it. It's always nice to be on the Outlet to Reality. It's an amazing podcast. You have so many awesome guests, and I'm really glad to have joined the ranks early on. You can find me on Instagram at 1974.gabrielle, and you can follow me there. See what's up with it.